My name is Tyler Benton. I'm the crew leader for 805A02.
Hi, my name is Vincent Garrick.
My name is George Hunter. I am a crew member for the Philmont trek of 805 Alpha 2.
My name is Will Stewart. I'm the crew chaplain for crew 805 Alpha 02.
My name is Stone Linker. I'm the Wilderness Pledge Gia and lead navigator for crew 805A02.
Both crews arrived at the scout hut at 3:45 a.m. on August the 4th and drove to the Charlotte airport to take a plane to Denver at 6:30 a.m. We landed in Denver around 8 a.m. local time and drove 1.5 hours to Pikes Peak, which we toured before driving down to Cimarron, New Mexico to check into base camp.
It's a vlog. It is a vlog. All right, Tyler. How's it going at Pikes Peak?
Well, pretty high up, aren't we?
Pretty high.
Stone insists that he can't feel the elevation difference. But you know, for somebody that's 100 pounds lighter and half a foot shorter, I can definitely feel it getting.
Will, what do you think about Pikes Peak?
Hi. Yeah.
The next morning when we woke up, we were paired with a ranger named Joe to complete required training. Joe would stay with us for the next 2 days of hiking to make sure we complied with Philmont's regulations. So, just talk about what's going on and how you're feeling at Philmont so far.
Well, I think it's kind of disappointing that this is like the hiking scout camp, but everything is done so inefficiently. We had so much time just to waste yesterday. We were supposed to be getting through stuff at base camp. Had to wait until 2 o'clock to do our medical recheck.
Chill, people, chill!
We were just doing nothing for most of the day. But the good thing is it's beautiful out here. It was wonderful last night. And pretty great weather so far.
Anything else to add?
Don't think so.
Want to hand off to George?
Here you go, George.
Okay, as you can probably hear in the background, they stole like half of these. I don't know why. It's been okay. My pinky toes are hurting on the corner, in my boots.
Already?
Yes, and I'm kind of nervous about it. But overall, it's been okay. The weather's been nice. The thunderstorms at night are really cool. Yeah, looking forward to starting it because I'm kind of sick of being in base camp, but it's been okay so far.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool so far. Food's been pretty awful, but you know, what can you expect from camp? There's a lot of opportunities for things that you wouldn't normally find at a hiking camp though, which seems really weird. It doesn't feel like a hiking camp at all. Looking forward to being on the trail. Stars are beautiful. I'm gonna have a great time. It'll be a great experience.
All right. So, like Vincent said, food is some garbo. They gave us all fried food this morning before a hike. Yeah, it's bad.
That is tough.
It is tough. The ranger is a solid guy. Most definitely solid. I'm excited, but like everybody else has said, this is like the hiking camp to go to, and it doesn't really live up to the standard or the hype. But although this is the base camp, we're not on the trail.
You looking forward to getting on the trail?
Yeah, a lot. No.
On August the 6th, we were driven out to the trail on a 10:30 a.m. bus to begin our hike. What's going on, Will?
Taking a video?
Yep.
So the rain's about to roll in. Just ate lunch. The cheese was some garbage.
You didn't like the cheese?
No, I didn't like the cheese. With the crackers, it was okay, but a few drops just now. It's still blue over there.
Oh, it is raining.
Yeah, it's still blue over there.
Do we want to put on pack covers, Tyler?
I think so.
Any rain jackets?
I'm not gonna get a rain jacket.
I'm just gonna make sure mine is accessible in case it's just absolutely pouring.
What's the call? Rain jackets?
I think pack covers and just make sure the rain jacket is somewhere accessible.
Fair.
Probably gonna move mine up to the hood or in between the brain and the main body of it.
All right.
Where did our ranger get?
Well, the first part of it was really cool. I got to hear the thunderstorm. That was really cool.
You like to hear the thunderstorm?
It was amazing. You could hear it was so loud and
Talking about last night's thunderstorm?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it was nice.
yeah, that was really cool. It kind of came out of nowhere and it woke me up, and I listened to it for until I fell asleep again.
Because it was blowing in.
Then we got up. We went to breakfast. In New Mexico, it's colder in the morning than it is in Charlotte, so I got my coat on and everything. Then we went to breakfast. Breakfast was okay. Don't drink
This
the.
morning's breakfast?
Yeah, I was okay with
It
it.
was steak fingers and biscuits and gravy.
I was okay with that. What the apple
I
juice.
got them to dump some gravy on my steak fingers, which made it que bueno.
I drank the Gatorade instead of the apple juice or orange juice because they messed that stuff up. We just set up. We just got everything ready to go, and then
How was the bus ride, George?
awful. Oh, that was bad. That's my thorn for the day. I had to pee the worst time I've ever had to pee in my life. It was the worst thing ever. Yeah, and then as soon as I got out of the bus, I got a nosebleed. That wasn't funny though.
Probably altitude.
It got better after that. Yeah, we started hiking and it got better. Yeah, we hiked. Then we got to camp really early, which is where we are now. Still, we thought it was 7 o'clock in the evening when it's 2:30. So we're about to get ready, cook dinner, and go to bed. But
What are you looking forward to for the rest of the hike?
the hiking, I hope it's not just forest. I want to see. Yeah, I don't like to just see trees. I want to see.
I bet the Vidal will be. Anything to update the crew on?
Stick to the schedule. If we say that we're gonna leave at 7:30, we shouldn't still be in camp at 8:15.
I think it'll be okay, Tyler. Wombat, anything to add for our crew?
Well, it's going all right. I think we're doing fine.
Nice.
And we probably should maybe either consider the issues of getting stuff to dry in the mornings and be more realistic about how long it's going to take, or
I think we should just pack up our
go
stuff
ahead
wet.
and pack up and leave. Especially when we have a short day, we could just pack it up and take it with us and dry it out when we get there.
Bent to Poblano was another short day, only 5 miles. Once we arrived, we made camp and then participated in their program, railroad tie cutting and spar pole climbing. Later that night, we went to a themed campfire put on by the Poblano staff.
Continental Tie and Lumber Company in Pueblo Branch. The day on my deathbed, when it all comes to, I'll still just be a rat from Boston. In the melting snows of Ontario, where the winds will make you shiver. 'Twas the month of May, up in Georgian Bay, near the mouth of the Musquash River, where the bears prowl and the coyotes howl, and you can hear the osprey scream. Back in '99, we were cutting pine and setting it down the street. Young Santa Gray came to Golden Bay all the way from EEI, where the weather's rough and it makes you tough and no man's afraid to die. Sandy came a smile, 30,000 islands was the place to claim his glory.
Day 3, longest day yet. Got up really early, about 5.
We got hiking, fairly decently early. It wasn't too hot out.
Made pretty good time from Pueblo, which is where we camped, to French Henry.
And then we did 3 different programs there.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was a super cool area. And it's super cool programs, like blacksmithing, gold panning, and then we toured a gold mine.
And then we continued on our way to Baldy town.
Which was our food pickup and,
Literally double the weight of some people's bags.
yeah, the food pickup was brutal.
Then we got back on the trail, heading here, Copper Park, excuse me.
Only water that we have available is non-potable, really cold water.
Tensions are high.
Tomorrow's gonna be hard. I think 16 miles, 2,000 feet in elevation gain at the very start of the day. But half of that is a day hike up to Mount Baldy, which is behind me, but you're not gonna be able to see it. It's the highest point on the Philmont ranch, but not the highest point that we're going to. Matter of fact. It is what it is. But yeah. We lost our ranger. His choice. We didn't throw him away or anything.
He never found his food bag.
He never found his food bag. I don't know if the vlog knows this, but our ranger lost his food bag.
We woke up at 4:30. It's currently 7. We're aiming to be on the trail at 5:30. So, so much for that. We've got to climb 2,000 feet in the next 3 miles. 2 of those miles will be without our full packs, though, which is good. I don't think anybody's feeling great. Mr. LeBlanc might be feeling great.
Mr. LeBlanc, how are you feeling?
Excellent.
Mr. LeBlanc is feeling excellent.
See, I'm shaking right
Yeah. It's tough. He's fucking nice.
Tell the good people what we just did.
That was roughly 1,000 feet in what? Under 2 miles.
18
Like
18
one and a
switchbacks.
quarter.
1.25 miles. 18 switchbacks. Took an hour. And I've got to say, I'm feeling good.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
It was.
No, it was not. Like you just go, you just get in this motion, and then you just keep going. And yeah.
Will, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. My arm got numb halfway through, but it's better now.
Vincent?
Bro, it was tough, but we got up, so. And we have more to go, so we're not done yet.
Mr. LeBlanc, how are you feeling?
Excellent.
Always.
Excellent.
What about you, Mr. Garrick?
I feel crapped out.
But I mean, we
I'll
just
tell you what.
went up 1,000 feet.
I feel proud.
We went up 1,000 feet.
Yes.
Over 1.25 miles
Right.
in 1 hour. So that's pretty good.
That's damn good, but I've crapped out. I'm telling you. That's one hell of a climb.
Here we are. We have finished Baldy Mountain hike. The tallest peak on all of Philmont property. It was hard. It's what? 12,600? 12,004? 12,4, 12,6? Around there.
Take the whole thing or you take nothing?
We're all,
Camp last night was like 10-2.
yeah. We're all beat. First 2 miles were up switchbacks, 1,000 feet. Second 2 miles were not. Thankfully, we were able to drop our packs and only do day packs up to the very peak. But it was another, 1,000 feet of incline over 2 miles. And the last 200 feet were over the last 200 feet. It was really tough. But personally, I really enjoyed that hike. Just the feeling of accomplishment, knowing that we did it. That was the highest peak on Philmont. Felt good.
What are we doing now?
Well, right now, we are We're eating lunch. We're in the kind of parking lot area. It's not really much of a parking lot, but it's a little clearing that was kind of midway between. It's where we dropped our packs. So we're resting up here, eating lunch. Some people are sleeping. And then we're gonna have 8 miles to camp tonight. And thankfully, it's all downhill. And it's spread out, so I'm feeling pretty good about the rest of the day. It was a tough morning, but now we got a nice hike ahead of us.
After eating lunch at the base of Baldy, we hiked downhill about 8 miles to Greenwood Canyon Camp, where we spent the night. The next morning, about a mile into our hike, we exited Philmont property and entered the Vivadal, a section of Carson National Forest. From here on, it was either forest roads or bushwhacking. There were no trails. A bit before noon, we stopped in order to walk into camp while rested. The short hike from where we ate lunch to Costilla was grueling and just really hard because we were hiking through a very wet meadow that had lots of mud. The next day, Tyler, George, Will, Vincent, Mr. LeBlanc, and Mr. Garrick went to Peak Bag, Little Costilla, and Wombat stayed with me in camp to rest. Hey, Mr. Crew Leader, tell us what's happening today.
Well, today, day 7, I think, officially. Day 6 on the trail.
This is hump day.
This is the 6th day on the trail, day 7 by Philmont's counting. We're having a more or less layover day. We're staying in the same campsite tonight as we did last night, and we're going peak bagging. We're going to hit Little Costilla and Ash Mountain. Ash Mountain's right behind me in distance. You might not be able to see it because of the glare from the sun. Trust me, it's there. Little Costilla's off that way. There's no real defined trails at that, so it's gonna be a decent amount of bushwhacking. Should be fun.
George, how do you feel?
My feet hurt a lot.
How bad do they hurt?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
5. But when I start hiking, it goes down to like 2. But as soon as I stop, it goes back up to 5.
Are you having a good time, George?
Mostly, yes. I'd be having a 10 out of 10 experience if I didn't have any feet and they were just, metal, and I didn't have to feel them.
You want metal feet?
Yeah, rather than what I have right now, yes.
Huh. Any closing comments?
I don't know, get your feet accustomed to hiking before you start hiking.
Word on that. Don't wear chacos for several years before wearing hiking boots.
We had our last vlog yesterday because we were about to hike Little Costilla and Ash Mountain. We did not hike Ash Mountain. We decided after Little Costilla that was enough for the day, and we were going to spend the rest in camp, just resting up. That was the highest peak of any Philmont trek. So we've done Baldy, which is the highest peak on Philmont property. Now we've also done Little Costilla, which is another 100 feet higher than that, which is the highest of any Philmont trek. So we've hit the 2 main ones. But it was interesting. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and afterwards we chilled out in camp, let everything dry, just get rained on later. Slept a little, took a bath. I think nearly everybody took a bath. I know that I did. Got slightly less smelly. It was a good day. Our injured people got some rest. Their feet hurt a little less now, although I understand that there's still some pain there. It's monsoon season here, so it's been raining every night. And tonight might be the first night without rain since we got to Philmont, which would be very exciting. Mr. Linker's over there knocking on wood. Oh, tomorrow we're going through the staff camp at Sealy Canyon, which we're bushwhacking to, and then we're following a trail down to Horse Canyon. At the staff camp, we have a search and rescue event, which I'm not really sure what that's comprised of, but it sounds interesting. It was so hot, hiking from Little Costilla, low impact camp, which was where we were last night and the night before, to Ring Place. It's a cool little place. It's a ranch, We've been chilling out under the tarp for the past little while. Got here around 1 o'clock, set up, ate lunch, got our food resupply, sorted that out, we hung bear bags, and we've just been chilling out. Anyways, that's all that I can think of to talk about. So yeah, for those of you tuning in at home, sleep well. Today is Tuesday, August 13th. In 4 more days, we'll be back in Charlotte.
The wake up time was really nice. It was still sunny, and I really liked that.
We took some extra time to dry the tents because we didn't want to tote around the water.
I know it's not what I should be focusing on right now, but I'm really excited to be nearing the end. This has been a really fun trek, but it's also been really long and hard.
We started by bushwhacking about 2 miles. Our wilderness guia Stone really knew how to take a bearing and get to the right spot dead on. That was really nice. We didn't have to do any backtracking or anything like that.
Our program there, search and rescue, that was pretty good.
The staff there was really great. They helped us figure out a better way to get to the next staff camp where we were stopping by, which is Dan Beard.
There was also the windmill, which I was expecting a little higher quality, not a broken down windmill that's turbines were in a tub next to it, but okay.
Then we got out of there, got out of Sealy Canyon, and followed the road for about 2 miles.
So we ended up bushwhacking another few miles down to a place called Beatty Lakes, and then we continued hiking off of there.
Yeah, then we saw a rattlesnake. That was also pretty cool. It was a beefy rattlesnake.
Stopped for lunch, and then we ate. We continued. I was told that the mileage from our lunch location to Dan Beard, was about 3.5 miles.
Stayed there for another 45 minutes, restocked on water, because up here, which is supposed to be a wet camp, the water in this wet camp is 1 kilometer away.
Yeah, then we had to hike this steep uphill. Wasn't that bad, but the last 2.5 miles.
Uphill called?
I don't remember.
The calf crusher.
The calf crusher was the uphill. It didn't really hurt my body that much. It was just a little tiring.
It was about 2.5 miles from the top of the thigh crusher, Thighmaster calf crusher to the camp.
An interesting thing is that we're about 2 miles north of where our first camp was, which was Bent Camp.
This camp has been pretty nice. Dinner was good, and I'm looking to settling down to a nice night.
And that's all that I have to say. So, sleep well, faithful viewers.
Today we are hiking from Horse Canyon to Indian Ridings. And that's only 6 miles, so pretty happy to have a shorter day today. And at Indian Ridings, we are going to do addle dart throwing and
Archaeology.
archaeology. That's the one.
All right. So, today is day 10. We have 1 full day and 1 half day before we are back in Philmont Base Camp. Then we're going to spend the night in Philmont Base Camp, and then we're going to start traveling back home.
Okay. Today we woke up at Horse Canyon, I think it was. I know it was. It was nice and foggy. Like you couldn't see any of the view that we saw last night. It was really nice.
But we got out relatively quickly.
My feet are really, really, really messed up. Every part of them.
We didn't have to hike very far. It was only 5.5, maybe 6 miles. It was overcast the entire day, which was really nice because we were hiking on a really exposed area.
We reached the false Hart's Peak. We all took a picture and like, yay, it's Hart's Peak. But it wasn't.
And we took a picture. We saw a very tiny horny toad that we thought was a bearded dragon, but it was a horny toad.
We're intending this to be like PG, and my feet are definitely PG-13 right now.
Even with all of that, though, the best part of today was we got to take showers.
We got to look at the Indian writings on the wall of the Navajo tribe? No, Pueblo.
And we did our programs. We actually got a shower. But the programs were petroglyph reading. The other program was the addle throwing.
But I have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 blisters on each foot. I've been gimping along. I've been in pain.
And so we went on a short little tour, about a half hour, of a few petroglyph walls that are on the canyon.
And we ate dinner, beef stroganoff. That's some good stuff.
My feet really hurt.
Just winding down for the night.
I really like that we've been having some shorter days. Today was like 5 miles. Started out, hurt really bad. Finished, it still hurt, but I was able to like push through it to the end. Got the Indian writings, got a little bit frustrated, a little bit upsetty spaghetti because it was about to rain. Like I felt it drizzling and the advisors would not let us set up camp. I was like, we can fill up the water later. Let's set up camp before you get wet. Because if there's one thing I'm tired of on this trip, it's being wet. But anyway, we set up camp. That was really good. Went and did our programs. Petroglyph on the cliff. Didn't even mean to make a rhyme. Snaps only. Petroglyph on the cliff. Thank you. That was really interesting. There's only 3 panels. They said there's like 17 more, but they're just really far away. And then we went to the addle dart throwing. Had to say wasn't that great at it. It was pretty fun though. I got my dart pretty far. Wombat threw his like past the end. He launched that thing. Definitely have had a good trek so far, but I'm ready to go home. I'm glad tomorrow is our last full day. We also have the cons project tomorrow. That just might suck. My back already hurts pretty bad, and 3 hours of breaking rocks in the desert might not do it any favors. But pretty excited, pretty happy. I think tomorrow's going to be a good day. And tomorrow's our last day, so last full day. We do have one more half day after that to hike out. So look forward to those exit interviews, my lovely viewers.
Goodbye, loyal fans.
All in all, pretty good day.
It's a good day.
Yeah, it's been a real fun time.
It was an okay day.
I think tomorrow's going to be a good day as well. Okay, so this is our last full day on the trail. Tomorrow we're going to wake up and hike out to Chase Ranch. I'm in France. There. We're going to hike out to Chase Ranch, but today we're hiking from Indian Ridings to Chase Cow. And that's about 5-ish miles, and tomorrow's going to be another 5-ish miles. Today we already did our conservation project, so it's like 12:20, and we're only now starting to hike. It's going to be hard. There's not going to be a lot of shade today, so when we give an update tonight, I expect we're all going to be just a little bit more burnt. That's today.
What was your favorite part of the trek?
My favorite part of the trip.
My favorite part of the trek was...
I was given time to prepare, and I didn't prepare.
Favorite part of the trip?
My favorite part of this trip?
My favorite part of the trek? Definitely summiting Baldy. It was really, I almost want to say empowering, to really just conquer that defining peak of Philmont. And of course we also summited Little Costilla, but for some reason that just didn't seem as important to me. And also helped that I was the first one on top of Baldy and the second one on top of Costilla. But that was definitely my favorite part. I personally was hiking a little bit ahead of everybody else, And it was really cool to just have that feeling of just being kind of alone with your thoughts. It's really powerful, and we're up on that ridge line, and it was a tough climb. It really felt good to hit that summit and just feel accomplished, you know?
Definitely looking at the view from Costilla. It was gorgeous, beautiful. You could see like miles in every direction.
My favorite part of the trek was sounding Costilla, Little Costilla, before Troop 22. That was fun. I was proud of that.
Probably reaching Baldy. Baldy was really cool. Little Costilla was higher, but I think Baldy was better because Little Costilla had the 3 false peaks. That felt pretty inconsiderate of the mountain to do that. Baldy, summiting Baldy.
The hiking, the time spent with all you guys and hanging out, just being out here in the backpacking trip with everybody.
Have to say my favorite part was either the 0 day I got to spend at Little Costilla low impact camp. Really, really needed that for my feet. Another favorite part was the night that we spent at Horse Canyon, the 5 of us boys just sitting around talking all night long. That was really nice, you know. That's really what you come out on these trips for, is those talking times.
Was seeing some of the Western orientation, everything that, I mean, the mountains, the way the valleys were formed, the various ecosystems, the tree lines, and just nature. Just nature out here is just, it's breathtaking. It really is. I mean, and we only got to see a little part of it. There's so much more that is out here. I mean, the western side versus the eastern side, the north and the south. It's all beautiful. There's so many different things out here that are it's just breathtaking. And you know, we only had 12 days, and we kind of just rushed through it in 12 days. And you just don't really appreciate God's beauty out here, and it really is awesome.
My favorite part of the trek was hiking up to Little Costilla and the views from Little Costilla. Eagle's Nest Lake on one side, and then looking up in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado on the other side. View was far better than you got on Baldy. Far, far better. So that was my favorite part of the trek.
What was your least favorite part of the trek?
My least favorite part of the trek was today, because it was really hot and my blisters were just hurting. They were hurting really bad. And my feet have just deteriorated a lot. And the ground was really hot. It was probably 120 degrees, the air temperature, but the ground temperature is probably like, what, maybe hotter, probably hotter. And I could feel that through my boots. That hurt a lot.
Oh, the rain.
Right after Baldy, the downhill 8 miles right after Baldy, my feet, that's when the blisters really began. We had just 8 miles of just straight downhill, and that really hurt. We also got rained on at the end of that, and all my socks and boots and everything got wet. That's what caused the blisters. And I was also really kind of wanting to sleep at home that day, which didn't help that.
My least favorite part was the climb up. It was almost a vertical climb. It was really brutal. It just took a lot of energy.
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything that was really that bad.
As far as the least favorite part, I better say it's definitely my feet. My feet got obliterated on this trip. They were definitely the worst as I was walking into Costilla, because As I was walking into Costilla, I had decided to take off my boots and wear my Crocs, just because I thought it would help. But then we walked through a big marsh, and I'm not gonna lie, I was crying on the way into that camp. It hurt really bad. But I took off my shoes, took off my socks, aired out my feet, got an entire day of rest where I got to move around real slow, not really do much. They got a lot better after that. And then the day, I guess it was the day after that, the day after the 0 day, we walked from Costilla to Ring Place. And it was on the road all day. That beat my feet up really bad. They're doing a little bit better now, but that was definitely my least favorite part of the trip. It would have been a lot more enjoyable if my feet didn't hurt so bad the entire time.
Well, that's two part. One part is carrying that 55-pound pack, and the other part is going up and down those steep, loose, rocky inclines and declines, because those were really hard. Rocks, I mean, you could sprain an ankle or twist a knee like that. I mean, and that I really, for myself, had to be really, really careful carrying an oversized pack.
My least favorite part of the trek was hiking from the yurt at Chase Cow up to our campground today. That was like, come on, they got to be kidding me. I get to my destination and they make me walk I probably have to climb about 300 feet to get up to my campground. And I was dead tired. So that was my least favorite of anything that went on.
Is there anything you'd change about the trek?
I'd probably want to go a little bit further. In previous years, they used to do longer treks. I feel like that would be more entertaining, I guess.
I would have evened out the mileage a little bit, because the last few days have been really short, and I feel like they could have been stretched out, because the day we swung at Baldy, that was a 17-mile day, and that was a really long day. It was in the rain too. But granted, we did have that was in the Valle, and we had a pretty long way to go from there, even after that 17 miles. So maybe evening out the mileage for each day.
Ooh, it's kind of a tough one. You know, ideally, the answer that I would love to be able to say would be like, make it so that nobody's feet hurt, because it kind of takes some of the enjoyment out of it, even if you're not the one whose feet hurt. Like, personally, my feet weren't mostly fine. They're sore, of course, but you know, I didn't have any blisters, which I'm very thankful for, by the way. But yeah, it's kind of tough seeing your friends, you know, kind of limping along, especially when you've seen them and, you know, they can keep up with you and pass you, 90% of the time. It's just kind of tough, you know. It makes it better when everybody's able to do everything. Like, Stone wasn't able to hike Little Costilla because he needed that 0 mile day. It was good. He needed it. It was good that he took it, but it would have been great to just be like, nobody's feet hurt.
I guess not so much food for each meal, because we always end up overloading, and I always feel like I have to eat all of it, especially that bagel on day 4. Had a very difficult time finishing that. Had to get Stone to help me finish it.
It'd be nice if everybody's feet would have held out a little bit better, so that we didn't have to spend so much time worrying about people being in pain, particularly you. Yeah, I mean, maybe I might have brought my heavier pack, because I underestimated how heavy our food loads would be, so my pack has been a little overweight, which has made it a little uncomfortable. My back's pretty sore.
Take better care of my feet early on. That would have made a world of difference. Other than that, not really. I had a great time. 10 out of 10 trip.
More showers. A whole lot more showers. I mean, I don't mind getting stinky or salty or sweaty, but you know, being able to rest well at night is partly being clean. I'd love to just take a nice dip somewhere. I mean, but you know, it's nature. You don't always have that ability. So I would love a shower every day. That would just be nice.
I would ask that our ranger, we need less time with our ranger on the front end of our trip. Less time in base camp, going over the basics, and less time with him out on the track.
What are you looking forward to most about going home?
I'm looking forward to a nice warm shower with not only shampoo, but also conditioner.
Non-dehydrated food.
Where is your backpack?
We've been eating dehydrated food like the entire trek for dinner. It's getting a little disgusting. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a fresh cooked meal.
Hot water. And good tasting water.
This might sound kind of stupid, but Mario Kart Wii. I really love that game. Haven't gotten to play it for a while. It decompresses me. It relieves stress. I really like that game.
A cold adult beverage and being able to sit at a table in a chair to eat a meal instead of on the ground or on a stump.
Shower. I have not washed my hair in 11 days, and my hair is super greasy. It smells bad. I smell bad. I would very much like to take a shower.
A nice shower and a nice cold beer. Probably the best thing. A long shower. Not a little one, a long shower and a cold beer. Maybe two.
When I'm getting home, I'm looking forward to my first tennis match. So I get to go play tennis. I haven't played tennis in, it must be close to about 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
I had a match scheduled for the Saturday before we were leaving, but my opponent canceled on me at the last minute, so I didn't get any tennis match. So I'm looking forward to one. I will probably schedule one for Sunday morning when we get home.
Have you been on any high adventures?
Yes, I've been on 2 prior ones. I'm actually wearing the 2017 Montana Bob Marshall shirt right now. And I went to the 2016 Montana whitewater rafting one. They're both really fun.
Yes, I was on the Montana one, the hiking Montana one to the Bob, and the Wisconsin canoe trip.
Yes, I have been on other ones. Last year we went to Wisconsin, and that was a really short one. Although it was 77 miles, it was a canoeing trip on the Namakagon and St. Croix River. But although it was 77 miles, it was only 4.5 days. So I feel like I didn't feel like I was out in the woods long enough. Also, but the mosquitoes made it feel long.
Yes, I went on the Bob Marshall Wilderness trip in July of 2017.
I have been on 5, actually. My first one was in 2014, went sea kayaking on the Great Lakes. 2015, hiking in Utah. 2016, rafting in Montana. Missed 2017. Really regret it. 2018, canoeing in Wisconsin. And here we are, 2019, Philmont. If I had to rank them, kind of tough. They're very different. I've been on 3 water trips, 2 hiking trips. I really like the water high adventures. I really like the water. I've been a raft guide. I really like paddling places. So if I had to rank them, I'd probably say first is Utah. The second would be the rafting trip in Montana. I think Philmont comes at a pretty solid 3, followed by, I guess I would say the canoeing trip in Wisconsin, and dead last, the Great Lakes kayaking trip, because I was 13 years old and it was really hard.
Yes, I've been to the Georgian Bay, to Lake Superior, to the Pacific Crest Trail in Washington, to the Highland Trail in Utah, the Flathead River in Montana, the Continental Divide Trail, Bob Wilderness in Montana, and now to Philmont.
And how does Philmont compare to these other trips?
I would have to say Bob Marshall is number 1, Philmont is number 2, rafting the Flathead River is number 3.
Philmont is a very different experience. It's more about the experience and less about like the hiking. You get a lot more fun things to do, like rock climbing, blacksmithing, just name a few. They're insane.
Philmont is probably going to be number 3 on my list.
What comes above it?
What comes above it? The Uintas Trail in Utah was the gold standard for any backpacking trip that anyone will ever take. We covered a lot of ground, and you went places that you can only see when you go there. You go places that you can only see if you'll go here. The thing that made Philmont unique is, in addition to the backpacking experience, you had a lot of different programs that you will never get on any of a standard Troop 33 high adventure trip. So the programs were really very good here. They added to it.
What was the second place behind the Highline Trail?
The Highline Trail, the second one would probably be the Continental Divide Trail and the Bob Marshall trek.
Is there anything else that you would like to share about your experience?
I love you guys. It was a good trip. It was a very nice, I know my technical last trip was the Arlope trip in March, but I kind of have always viewed this as like my last trip as a scout. And I think it was a really great send-off. I got to spend a lot of quality time with some of my best friends. Nathan and Andrew should have come. But no, it was a really good trip. I think I definitely had a very solid time here. I'm looking forward to coming back on other troop trips, but it just won't really be quite the same.
The crew has been good. We probably had a few rough points, but overall, when you spend time with people it's going to turn out to be 13 days, you're going to have some ups and downs, but overall, it's been really, really, really good.
It was super fun the whole time, even though it was like agonizingly hot most of the time. We were in the sun for quite a while, and I would use a lot more sunscreen.
Being at Scouts when I was young, I've always wanted to go to Philmont. Never had the chance. Didn't have the money. Our troop was really small, so never really got the opportunity to do that, financially or otherwise. So this was kind of a bucket list item for me. So I loved it. I kind of enjoyed it immensely, even though I slowed everybody down. But you really need to experience nature that God made it for you. And I really like the way Philmont is trying to keep all the systems and ecosystems and things in place so that a lot of other people can experience this type of natural phenomena. And I just hope everybody, our crew, and all the crews that go through here really need to just appreciate it. That's it.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
I've had a really great time. Wonderful to spend time with my son and all you wonderful young men, and had pretty good company with everybody that we've been along with, had good interactions with the staff. It's been a lot of fun.
Is there anything you'd want to say to whoever watches this video, particularly if they're in the troop or your troop?
Stick with scouting, get to first class, and when you're 14, you too can come to Philmont and enjoy the Philmont experience.
If you have an opportunity to go to Philmont, you should do it. It's really cool. It's really something special. It's not something that you can do anywhere else. And really take the time to look into the itineraries. Our crew is doing 35. The other Troop 33 crew is doing number 2. We're really mileage focused. We're the second highest mileage by like a mile. And they're number 2. They're really staffed camp focused. I think their mileage is 53. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but we're up at over 100 with the side hikes. But take the time to look into it. There's so many opportunities. It would really suck to, go all the way out here, pay all this money, and then realize, I didn't look into this enough. I don't know if this was what I want to be doing. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. LeBlanc.
It's been really fun. Next.
That's it. Thank you very much. All right, Tyler, it's our last day on the trail. What's the plan?
Today we've got only, I think, a little less than 6 miles to go, going out to Chase Ranch Trailhead, and it's all downhill. We talked to some people. They said it only took them an hour and a half. We could do it in 2, so we're very optimistic. We're about to leave, so I'm talking fast because I want to get going. Biggest thing that I learned at Philmont was my appreciation for solo achievement, even in the midst of a group.
The one thing I learned from Philmont is how to respect wildlife and admire what God has given us.
The biggest lesson I learned at Philmont was the value of friendship. I really learned how to get along with people in hard times.
The biggest lesson I learned on this trek was sometimes it's gonna hurt, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be hot, you can get burned, you can get blisters. These blisters are gonna get popped, or they're just gonna pop on their own. That's worse than having them popped. And just gotta keep going, trudge through it. It was a really great experience just to be with all my friends and just get out in the woods. I really enjoyed it.
The biggest lesson I learned on my Philmont trek is that if you want to enjoy something, enjoy it. And if you don't want to do something, don't bother trying.
This is a Carolina Jubilee. 1 and a 2 and 3.